Friday, May 5th, 2023. Morning edition, fellow. This entire video is AI, generated daily. Now, this day in history.
1215. Rebel barons renounced their allegiance to King John of England, part of a chain of events leading to the signing of the Magna Carta. 1609. Daimyo Lord Shimazu Tadatsune of the Satsuma domain in southern Kyushu, Japan, completes a successful invasion of the Ryukyu Kingdom in Okinawa. 1654. Cromwell's Act of Grace aimed at reconciliation with the Scots proclaimed in Edinburgh. And now on to today's news.
Marcus Smart fights through pain as angry Celtics crush 76 ERs in MVP Joel Embiid's return. The Athletic. AI summary of this story. The Boston Celtics were frustrated and angry after blowing an opportunity to take advantage of the absence of the Philadelphia 76 ERs MVP. Despite feeling as though they were meant to win every game, Celtics coach Joe Mazzulla wanted his team to feel their anger. His glee in seeing his team's frustration was evident, and the Celtics were eventually defeated 121-87, with anger reaching boiling point when Al Horford conceded a huge dunk by Joel Embiid.
European Central Bank raises rates by 25 basis points, slowing the pace of hikes. CNBC. AI summary of this story. The European Central Bank increased its benchmark interest rate by 25 basis points to 3.25% as it fights a surge in consumer prices, with rates now at November 2008 levels. Inflation figures released earlier this week showed an increase in the headline rate to 7% for April, while core inflation, which excludes food and energy prices, decreased slightly to 5.6%. Despite consistent rate increases since July 2022, estimates suggest that inflation will not reach the ECB's target until 2025. Recent data also shows that the Eurozone economy grew less than expected in Q1 2023, and banks have tightened access to credit.
Regional bank stocks continue to slide on Thursday, with PacWest leading the way, down 40%. CNBC. AI summary of this story. Several regional banks suffered significant losses in the stock market on Thursday, including PacWest, which was down 50.6%, following news that the bank was exploring strategic options, including a potential sale. Tennessee-based First Horizon also fell 33% after terminating its merger agreement with TD Bank due to regulatory approval uncertainty. Other regional banks, including Western Alliance and Zions Bancorp, also suffered notable declines. And the SPDR S&P Regional Banking ETF, KRE, was down more than 5%. The drops indicate that investors lack confidence in regional banks, which had seen deposit outflows in March, raising questions about asset values.
Doctors performed brain surgery on a baby before she was born, and now she's thriving. CNN AI summary of this story. Doctors in Boston successfully performed a novel fetal surgery to treat vein of Galen malformation, a rare brain condition. This ultrasound-guided procedure is among the first for this condition, which occurs when the vein of Galen doesn't develop correctly. The malformation can lead to an overwhelming amount of blood, stressing the vein and heart, and can lead to a cascade of health problems. Typically, infants are treated after birth using a catheter to slow down blood flow. However, the treatment often happens too late, and 50 to 60% of babies with this condition will get very sick immediately.
Ukraine's Zelensky in The Hague says Putin must face justice. Reuters. AI summary of this story. Ukraine's President Zelensky has called for Russian President Vladimir Putin to be brought to justice for his war in Ukraine in a new international tribunal for the crime of aggression. Speaking in The Hague, Zelensky said that the invasion itself should be seen as the primary offense committed by Moscow. While the idea has some support, there is little prospect Moscow, which denies any wrongdoing in Ukraine, would participate. The European Commission supports the creation of a separate international center for the prosecution of the crime of aggression in Ukraine, while the U.S. has expressed similar sentiment.
Midtown Atlanta shooter who killed one and injured four arrested, charged, police say. Fox 5 Atlanta. AI summary of this story. The suspect in the Northside Hospital shooting in Midtown Atlanta, Dion Patterson, will not face a judge the day after he was arrested. Patterson is now facing 4 counts of aggravated assault and 1 count of murder and is being held in the jail's medical observation unit. Officials say Patterson fired multiple shots in the waiting room of an Atlanta medical practice. He was apprehended the next day without incident at a condo complex near Truist Park. Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens has called the events traumatic and stressed the importance of police training and tougher gun laws.
A school shooting has rocked Serbia. Here's what we know. CNN AI summary of this story. A 13-year-old boy opened fire on his classmates at a school in the Serbian capital Belgrade, leaving at least 8 children dead and several others injured. The suspect shot his school's security guard and then went on to shoot the students in a history classroom before leaving the classroom, throwing his weapon down the steps and waiting for the police to arrive. While Serbia is known to have a high number of guns, mass shootings are rare in the country.
Clarence Thomas raised him. Harlan Crow paid his tuition. ProPublica. AI summary of this story. Justice Clarence Thomas sent his teenage grandnephew to a private boarding school in Georgia in 2008, costing over $6,000 a month. Thomas did not pay the tuition bill for his grandnephew, and a bank statement shows that the payment was made by the company of billionaire real estate magnate Harlan Crow. This revelation has raised concerns because Crow is a major donor to the Republican Party and has benefited from Thomas's decisions in Supreme Court cases.
Princess Anne reveals her official coronation role. It solves my dress problem. New York Post, AI summary of this story. Princess Anne will be the gold stick in waiting at the coronation of King Charles and Queen Camilla, responsible for the monarch's personal safety during the event on the 6th of May. The Princess Royal will ride on horseback behind the royal couple's carriage before leading 6,000 armed service personnel in the coronation procession. King Charles's older sister said he had been practicing for a bit since the death of their mother, the Queen, and was committed to his own level of service.
FDA approves first ever RSV vaccine, shots to be available for older adults. Yahoo Voices. The AI summary of this story. The Food and Drug Administration has approved the first vaccine to combat respiratory syncytial virus, RSV, designed by pharmaceutical firm GSK. The vaccine, named Arexvy, was approved for adults aged over 60 and was reported to be 82% effective at preventing lower respiratory tract illnesses caused by RSV, according to trial data. RSV is the leading cause of hospitalizations among newborns and younger children. Among those under 5, there are between 58,000 and 80,000 hospitalizations a year due to RSV. It also causes more than 177,000 hospitalizations and 14,000 deaths among older adults each year. And now, a silly joke or two to lighten the mood after all the heavy stuff.
How many bones are in the human hand? A handful of them. Why didn't the skeleton cross the road? Because he had no guts. Why do mathematicians hate the U.S.? Because it's indivisible.
Hope you enjoyed today's artificial intelligence-generated news digest. For more, please subscribe. Hit the bell button to activate notifications, and make sure to tune in next time. Stay safe and healthy. Cheers.